No, I've already started live already.
No, he wants to watch TV.
He can turn it. He can turn it down. It doesn't have to. It's not going to interrupt me. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, and welcome, welcome. Allegedly. Oh gosh, Edie Peeler, Rochelle Bailey. I can't deal. What's up, Net? Food Junkie. Welcome, welcome. Good afternoon. Chapakradal. Welcome, 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 welcome. Victoria, welcome, and hello to everyone. Good afternoon. I am running a little late. Usually, I like to do my Wednesday word early, but I'm a little late today, so I'm going to try to get this done and not be on very long. Don't want to inconvenience anyone in the house. At any rate, I appreciate all of you. Joyce Vlogs, welcome. Thank you for being here. Satin, welcome, and good afternoon. Thank you all for coming. Let's get with today's Wednesday word. Today's Wednesday word is pride. Today's Wednesday word is pride. Pride. Pride is a feeling or deep pleasure of satisfaction derived from one's own achievements, the achievements of those with whom one is closely associated, or from qualities or possessions that are widely admired. Okay? Confidence and self-respect as expressed by members of a group, typically one that has been socially marginalized on the basis of their shared identity, culture, and experience. Pride. Okay, so there's certain things that stick out: a feeling, deep pleasure, satisfaction, achievements, of those with whom we are associated, closely associated, qualities, possessions that are widely admired. Now, I'm sure there are people. Um, Good afternoon, Deanna Irving and Rhonda. Good afternoon, Desi. Good afternoon, and welcome to Wednesday Word. Now, those words we all have experienced in one way or another. We've experienced that feeling of deep satisfaction uh, derived from our achievements. I think most of us have achieved things in our lives that we have been very proud of. Things that we have acquired, qualities that we have acquired, sometimes being ridiculed. And then we also understand the confidence and self-respect as expressed by members of the same group. Now, typically that has been socially marginalized on the basis of their shared culture, identity, and experience. Now, we understand that women that our people have been marginalized, socially marginalized, because of our shared identity, our shared culture, and our shared experience. However, let's move on a little bit. Pride is uh, an inwardly directed emotional term that carries two antithetical meanings. With a negative connotation, pride refers to a foolishly and irrational, corrupt sense of one's personal value, status, or accomplishments used used synonymously with yarbus, which means excessive pride. Okay, so then there are there is a beautiful side and positive, beautiful or positive side, and a negative or destructive side of pride. Now, in other words, one side of pride is productive in achievement, productive in thought pattern. You notice I always um, talk about thought pattern and behaviors. So now there is a positive side to pride, pride that is motivating, a pride that even when you don't feel like pushing, pride in what the achievement or what the end goal is will give you the added fervor or the added strength to press. Okay. When all is going wrong, pride in yourself, in the bottom line, in the end goal, will give you the to press toward the mark, to press toward the goal. However, there is another side, as we have discussed or began to discuss. Um, there is a negative side. The negative connotation refers to a foolish, irrational, corrupt sense of personal value. Okay, someone that has crossed the line. So there is a beautiful and positive side and a negative and destructive side to pride. Two sides, one coin. Okay, two sides, one coin. On one side, we are motivated to push. We are motivated to use the things that are within us um, to push towards success, to push towards achievement. Then there's the other side, which a lot of times comes after the achievements. And this is why we must be careful that once we achieve the goal, number one, that's not the end. That's not really the end. That's just the beginning. Once you achieve your goal, that is not the end. That is the beginning. Most, or should I say, some people experience that the goal is the very end and there's no room or no need to push any further. So they have a tendency to relax on their laurels. I've made it, I've done it, and I'm the man, I'm the woman, and all this kind of stuff. And what begins to happen is they begin to feel that because they made it, no one else should be able to, or no one else can make it. No one can go further than them. No one can move higher than them. No one can achieve more than them. And if they do, there is an issue where then now I have to belittle you. I have to take you out. Okay. I'll be your friend until you are, or I feel that you are in direct competition. And it does not matter what field, um, it does not matter with what group you may be affiliated with or they may be affiliated with. They feel that there is a competition. They feel that you are getting more than them. And so, however they can, uh, they master a plan to humiliate you and bring you down because they are stuck on who they are and the achievements that they have uh, achieved. Two coins, I mean, two sides of one coin. On one hand, proud to be, okay, uh, proud to have accomplished, having pride that we have acquired some things and some qualities that require, and listen to this, that require discipline, self control, and sacrifice. Then there's the pride that is self-serving, self-aggrandizing, and destructive to relationships on every level. Okay? They are destructive. There's the side of pride that is destructive to every single relationship on every level. And again, because this is YouTube, let's look around us. Let's look around us. We can see uh, we can see the real time example of this going on. People have achieved a great deal in life, and somehow uh, their pride becomes boastful and destructive to the point where they don't hear anything, they don't listen, they know everything, they cannot be corrected by their peers, or maybe the word corrected is, it might be a little strong, but no one, in other words, no one can pull their coattail and say, well, from a different point of view, what you said or what you did may look like this to more people than the people who are involved or from the outside looking in. So, and rather than fix it, people have a tendency, I know what I'm doing. So did the race car driver that was in the race. He knew what he was doing. He's a professional at it. Yet he crashed his car and died. Hard head always makes a soft behind. That's what I've always been brought up with that adage. Okay, so the pride of self-serving. Um, once the achievement has been achieved, it has been gained. We now are. Um, we become, some of us become self-serving, and it's not what I can do for you to help you up, but it's what you can do for me. Self-aggrandizing. Well, I've got my and this is not a throw off on anybody, it's just an example. I've got my associates, I've got my masters, I've got uh, my PA. No, let me just put it this way, I've got 7 or 8 degrees. I've got 7 or 8 degrees. I've gone through it all. I've done it all. And I did it. I did it. I did it. And you can't tell me nothing because I did it. I'm great because I did it. I have I have this big house. I have this grand, silver spirit parked in my garage, and I did all of this. However, you had help. To attain anything, there has to be someone along the line to help you. Oh, Lord. Okay. To help you to achieve your goal. Strategically placed throughout the process, strategically placed to assist you in that achievement. No one is an island. No one stands alone. No one works by themselves. And each time that we work with each other and we help each other, everybody grows. It doesn't matter what level you are on. When you help individuals, everybody grows. Everybody becomes more of a success. In every religious belief, there are warnings against negative and damaging against the negative and damaging definitions of pride and the consequences that behavior causes. Every single religious belief warns against pride, warns against the negative side of the coin of pride. Just as an example, and this is the NIV version of the Bible of Proverbs 11 and 2. When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. I'm going to say that again. With pride comes, when pride comes, then comes disgrace. Now, have we not seen, quote unquote, on these YouTube streets, when pride has come and pride has taken over, again, the negative antithetics of pride? We see that when it comes, then comes disgrace, because we say and do things that reveal the pride. And as soon as we have done that, we try to cover it up and mask it by saying, what I did, uh, what I did, I'm justified in what I did. However, the situation has not been, or the issue has not been solved. It has not been solved. There has been no humility, so there can be no wisdom in the situation. It's appalling. It's appalling, especially when you ascribe to having some form of religious belief. But again, what we have a tendency to do is we have a tendency, number one, not to read what is pertaining to us because we are prideful. And I don't need to hear that. Number two, we don't implement it, and we don't practice it. We preach it to others, and we tell others how they ought not to be prideful and boastful and in your own achievements, to the point of um, lifting ourselves above others rather than reaching back or reaching down to help somebody. But instead, again, we preach what others should do and how others should be. However, when we get into certain situations, we throw all of that out the window, and we use things and people to make us comfortable in our stance. It was amazing, some of the things I saw. It really was amazing, but unfortunate, because again, at the end is disgrace. And so now you're sitting up here in total disgrace, rejecting the idea. Because one thing about the inner spirit does check you when you're wrong. I don't care who you are. I don't care whether you are saved or sinner. There is a part of God in you. There is an essence of God in you that convicts you, that leads you and that lets you know when you are right or wrong, or when you are in error, or when you are on the straight and narrow. Now, let me say this. Let me use this disclaimer. Everyone is human. Everyone, um, everyone is susceptible to circumstances and making wrong choices and bad decisions. However, as I said in a previous video, within you is that spirit that will say to you, don't go there. Don't do that. Instead of taking that left turn, go right. Because what happens when you follow that voice and go right? You gain wisdom and not disgrace. One of the um, one of the related words or synonyms to humility is obedience. Closely related to humility is obedience. And when I use that word, I use that in the context of the spirit within you that guides you. When you are obedient to that inner man, that conscience, that conscience, when you are obedient, then you find yourself walking in wisdom. You will find yourself automatically walking in wisdom. Why? Because you was obedient to the voice inside that was guiding you in the right way. And that's where the blessing is. That's where success comes in. Not being puffed up, you know it all, and this is what I say, and this is how it is. I'm not moving from this point. I'm not moving from this spot. I'm not moving from this perspective. And that's how we begin a rapid decline. Humility, also related with humility, is being able to hear. Being able to hear. And see, uh, Ginger Curls, one of the things in that situation is that as an older brother, I felt it my duty uh, to use older to use older brother privilege. What older brother privilege is, there is a hierarchy. And when a younger brother errs and an older brother sees it, what he does is he calls that younger brother into question. He calls him in to review his actions and his behaviors and to then govern himself accordingly. According to what? Accordingly to what? Accordingly to what you preach. Accordingly to the rules that you espouse, to what you tell others that they should be doing. You call them, or better yet, you remind them that this is the position you hold. With that position, there is a behavior, not taking you out of being human, not saying that you cannot fall. But the reason why older brother is here is because older brother has been where you are going. So when I see you overtaken in a fault, I restore you with love. Now, if you cannot, and listen to me clearly, everyone in this chat, listen to me. If you cannot hear, remember, listening is intellect, hearing is spirit. So when you hear with spirit. And if your spirit, the spirit that is within you, that inner man, when he hears that, he connects with it. And he governs himself accordingly. He not only does he help, not only are you able to restore him, but uh he's hungry, if you will, or he's in a position to want to be restored. But when your intellect takes over, which is where pride resides because of what you've achieved, you don't want to hear in that spirit man, and the war is on because your spirit is always warring with your flesh. Your spirit is always warring with your intellect. The two so often, because your intellect will tell you this is what I should do, but your spirit is saying spiritually, and being in connection with the universe and with the laws of the universe and with the laws of God, this is what I should do. So the mind oftentimes wants to be, wants that momentary gratification. It wants that momentary gratification. However, the spirited man is saying, listen, hold on, let's go this route, because the gratification that you get from doing it this way is long lasting. Not only is it long lasting for you, but it blesses those that are watching you and how you handle things. And it encourages them, it gives them that hope, and it gives them that reassurance that I can do this. I can make it through. When I'm faced with this is how I can handle it in order to have a longer or a bigger or a better harvest of what I have planted. So now, sirs and madams, the things you do, you are going to reap the benefits, whether it is wisdom or whether it is disgrace. Look around you on these YouTubes. A lot of us are talking every day about the situations that are going on, and they are disgraceful because people have started operating out of the pride of what they feel they have achieved. And every time you look around, measures and signs of disgrace are happening. There was a man in the Bible called Nebuchadnezzar. I, 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 I believe it was Nebuchadnezzar. I have to look it up because I want to be accurate. It was one of the kings. Let me just put it that way. It was one of the kings that looked over his kingdom and said, look at all that I have done. Now, the problem was with that was is that it was the creator that had enabled him, and his relationship with the creator that gave him the knowledge and the ability to create a great kingdom. But the moment he became prideful and puffed up in himself, look what I did. Look at my kingdom. I'm a great king because I've done all of this. The moment he, the moment that he opened up his mouth and he ended his statement, an angel was dispatched from the throne, and God took back his wind, if you will. And the Bible goes on to say that this particular ruler fell dead because God took his life back. His pride and then his disgrace. So let me encourage every one of you, keep your pride in check. There are wonderful things that a lot of you are doing that are going to advance you, that you can be proud of within reason. However, when you are on the wrong side of that coin, and you become so high minded and so stuck on what I have done. Again, even on YouTube, every subscriber that you have is helping you. Every subscriber that you get is helping you to achieve your goals, your branding. They are helping you. So you're really not doing it by yourself. People are helping you. So let us not forget about those people that have helped us and that have supported us and that have stuck by us. And let me say this because it just popped in my head. The windmilling situations, and I want to give my props and shout out to Oh No for that video on the words that should be blacked out. A lot of those words, I agree. I agree. When windmilling, when your when your efforts, when your efforts and your words are when your works, let me put it this way, because your works are what you say and what you do. When they are in the context of positivity, of being a help, when you take that stand and that posture through everything you do, being consistent, no one has to windmill for you because your work speaks for you. So no one has to windmill. Now, there's one thing that I have to agree with Brother Jay on is that no one needs to windmill for anyone. Now, if you say something about someone that is wrong, I can understand that if you know the right thing, that you correct it. However, let me say this. I'm going to say it again. I said it before, and I'm not afraid of anybody on YouTube in order to not say this. Okay? What I experienced in Jay Wilson's chat that night, it was a blatant attack. And if you don't know what's going on in your chat, then you're not paying attention. And the moment that you see that this attack is taking place for no reason, just for the reason that I'm there, and that my statements or my questions are directed to the person whose chat it is, I get attacked. It is your responsibility to nip that in the bud. So if you have to block that person, block that person. Because obviously your chat is filled with people, again, from my observation, those people that don't care for you, nor do they care for your success. They more or less care more for your demise. So they are there to help to bring you down in a vulnerable situation. So now your ears are closed to reason and your eyes are closed to be able to see it. Now, again, I say this in every video because I want everybody to get this. I'm not disappointed because I had no unreal expectation. But I will say this. I will say this. If you ask anybody that is a friend of mine, anybody that is in relationship with me, they will tell you I'm not a ride or die. I'm not a ride or live. I am a ride and live because we're going to ride together and we're going to live together. Because when I see something coming, I'm going to let you know. I support the people that I support until they show me differently. And then I bow out gracefully. I do it with class. And whether I get an apology or not is not important because I did the right thing. And no one pushes me anywhere. You see, most people, their reputation hinges upon their feelings in that particular situation. But in the situation I was in, my feelings were not important. Mm-mm. That wasn't what's important to me because I was reaching out for my brother who, in my observation, had fallen, had been overtaken in a fault. And it was my job to restore him. So I did the right thing. And here's the case: when all this stuff transpired, I've learned to shake the dust off my feet for a reproach against them. Arguing? No. Proving a point? No. Because the point has already been proven and we have seen it. We have seen what has been said materialize, manifest. We have seen it. So let me encourage you all and remind you when pride comes, then comes disgrace. But with humility comes wisdom. Now, again, that is not to say that you being humble, that you are a welcome mat. Did y'all hear what I said? Being humble does not mean being a welcome mat and everybody walks on you. That's not what that means. Humbleness means not allowing your ego and your pride to make you feel that you're so much above anybody else that you cannot hear, that you cannot listen to what they have to say, that you cannot consider. Now, let me share this with you. Anybody, and Joyce, I want to say Beauty by Joyce, but she changed, I think she changed her title. Yeah, Joyce Vlogs, there she is. Joyce Vlogs can testify to this. I'm going to ask you questions, especially if I'm in your presence. I'm not concerned so much about the other party, but it is my goal to have you look at it from a wide perspective, not from your feelings. Is there anything that I could have done differently? And then what is that other person trying to tell me? Because there's several things that a person is trying to tell you that causes us to be blindsided in their anger. What are they trying? Is this a cry for help? Is this uh, is this a cry from a hurting place? And then what is the issue? Now, last Wednesday's word, I brought up a word, which an acronym, which I want to reiterate and recapitulate so that people, if you think about it this way, it will help you a great deal. When you get into situations and issues with other people and they're going in on you, and you feel that emotions starting to rage that you want to snap their neck off, take 30 to 60 seconds and do the principle, what is called KYBS, KYBYS. Keep your big yap shut for 30 to 60 minutes, 60 seconds, 30, from 30 to 60 seconds. And what that does is that gives you the time to rethink your position on the matter. It causes you to look at it like, what is the real issue here? What is the, before I allow myself to be led by my emotions, what is the real issue? And is the real issue worthy of calamity? Because in the issue, in any specific issue, everybody can come out looking bad and nobody comes out looking smart. Because a person is going in doesn't mean that I have to go in with them. If I am going in with them, that means that they are controlling me. And this is why people do that. And then my question at that particular time, when afterwards, when I saw the video, or better yet, when I was in that chat, the comment was made, I gave them what they wanted. They wanted drama, and I gave it to them. So there was something that went on for drama or calling for drama that nobody else saw. But my question is, does that make it right? Does it make it right for me to give you drama? Because from where I sit, it looks like you want drama. And how much energy does it take for me to give you drama? And then what are the residuals of my giving you drama? Quiet as it's kept, those that did have expectation of you, what happens is it has lowered the expectation. You wind up losing more than you gain. And then again, you go back to every other person that you have had issue with. And then you begin to promote them all over again, especially after they have said vile things about you. Where I'm from, yes, we understand that forgiveness is not for that individual. It is for me to release myself and move on. However, it is not very wise, I use that word, to reconnect with the bondage of those individuals that you had before. I mean, that's just my observation of that particular situation. You reconnect to all that negativity because, again, people show you how they feel about you when there's a disagreement and when they're angry. They say vile things. What is in your heart about a person is going to come out through your mouth, regardless of what you say or how you try to mask it. Remember, I have said on several occasions, your behavior will forsake what you say. It will forsake what you say every single time. So you can get up and say, "Oh, I love this one and I like that one. Oh, we cool and we tight and I would never." Everybody on here that said we will never has done exactly what they said that they would never do, haven't they? And if I'm not telling the truth, put a one in. But if I'm telling the truth, everybody type in a two. And I have sat back and I have observed every single team, every single alliance that said we will never fight, we will never on YouTube in public, we will take care of everything behind the scenes. Now, again, when you say that, and when you expect somebody to do what you wouldn't do, there is going to be problems. Now, I'm going to say this about the Jay Wilson incident. You're looking to be served, okay? You're looking for these women to serve you with what you want. However, the other side was that of that is, what were you willing to do? If you wanted it done behind closed doors, you should have kept it just as much behind closed doors as you wanted it. If they didn't contact you when you wanted them to, what was the problem with you waiting? You waited on the Lord. You waited on the Lord. So why couldn't you wait? Why couldn't you be patient? Again, your behavior has a tendency to forsake what you say. Your behavior, not your spirit, not your belief in God, but your behavior. Because the spirit does not strive with man always. And the only way you are renewed every day is by your spirit man. You allowing your spirit man to be renewed by your behavior and your thought pattern. What I was yesterday, I'm not today. What made me angry yesterday, I realize that that makes me angry and that causes me to be out of control. So today, I'm not going to, I'm going to work through that today. I'm going to leave that man alone because that's not who I desire to be. That's not who I desire to be. I desire to be a man of wisdom and not a man of disgrace. Now, again, understand this is not a come down on on any individual. This is an observation of what I observed in relation or an example of today's word, pride. Pride is a coin that has two sides to it. There is a side that is a blessing to people, and there is a side that causes the destruction of yourself and others. So, again, everyone in the chat, I appreciate you being here. All of the content creators that are in here, I appreciate you. I appreciate the comments that people have given because so often the comments help to broaden even my perspective, whether they are negative or positive. And I have to say this about the comments. I think since I have been on here, uh, I've only received maybe one or two comments out of all the comments that I have gotten that were um, disrespectful. All the comments I have gotten so far in comparison have been wonderful, and I appreciate everyone that keeps it respectable or respectful. Now, again, I've said last week, and I'll say it again, this particular channel platform is not one of conflict. It is not founded upon conflict. It is founded upon peace and being able to broaden the mind and widen the perspective, because what you see, I may not see. What I see, you may not see. And we may actually disagree. But when we come together in love and respect, guess what? It's a peaceful dialogue where we each learn, even if we disagree. We understand that disagreeing is not hatred, disagreeing is not contention, disagreeing is not, or disagreement or disagreeing is not a war, people. It is not a war. It is not a bad thing to disagree with someone. As a matter of fact, it's a wonderful thing, because if you are, and this is not a downplay on anybody, but if you are an intelligent and critical thinker, what you will do is go and do your homework on the points that were disagreed upon for a better understanding. And ain't nobody said amen, but I always bring my amens with me. That's what I used to say when I was really preaching in church. I got my amens because the word is right all by itself. When you have disagreement, it does not mean, or different points of view, it doesn't mean war. It doesn't mean take a battle stance. We can agree to disagree. We both go and do our homework, we do our research and come back together, because you will find that we agree on more points than we disagree. And I know that touched somebody's spirit right there. I have found in relating with people that we have, especially people that we feel are different than us, that the points upon which we agree are so many more than the points in which we disagree. And therein becomes the blessing. Therein becomes the blessing. Therein becomes the blessing. Because now, because we understand that we have all these things that link us together, those little things that do not, when we come together again, we understand the individual a little better and where they're coming from. We all cannot be the same. We all can't think the same. We have different experiences and different frames of reference. It makes us different, beloveds. And that's what makes the world beautiful. And that's really education right there. That's really education. That's real education. That's really the foundation of critical thinking, if you really want to know. College will give you the tools for critical thinking. I'm going to say that again. College will give you the tools for critical thinking. However, real life experience teaches you to critically think and to think through situations instead of taking it instead of taking it for what it seems, going deep into it beyond the surface and then extracting what it's really about. Then you're able to better converse and enlighten. And understand, I use the word converse. Then you're able to converse, not conversate, because conversate is not a word. Converse. Then you're able to really, really share. And it's about sharing. It's about sharing. Again, speaking about the open hand policy. When your hands are open, you're able to receive and you're able to give. When your hands are closed, nothing goes out and nothing comes in. And it's the same principle with your mind. If you do not have an open mind, and having an open mind doesn't mean that it's easy for you to be swayed and convinced and manipulated and controlled. It just means I'm willing to hear what you have to say. But with my investigation, with my frame of reference, with my experience, I weigh it in the balance. And then I make an educated decision because I have all the components, all the information, all the information. I have all the information at that point to make an educated decision. And then when I make that decision, I'm able to stand, as they say, and I quote, in my ish. Because at that point, I know my ish is smelling like roses because I made it from an educated, uh, I made it from, I made an educated decision. I made it from education. I made it from investigation. I made it from research, added with my frame of reference and my experiences, well rounded. And I do appreciate seeing those of you that are in here. Patrice Cunningham, Ron Price, you know how I feel about you. Cynthia Jones, uh, Chiki, wow. Informa, oh, I'm sorry, Information. Welcome and thank you for being here, all of you. Again, to all the content creators that are in here, I appreciate you because all of you have had an influence. Gamage, Gamage, or Gamage Carter, thank you for being here. Exactly, exactly. Every now and then, you know you need to come someplace where you can just be and you can interact and you can listen to something other than beef because ain't nobody got time for that. You are absolutely right. We need a place to come. And if that is this channel, if that is the Mac Association, you all are welcome. That is why I'm here. That is why I'm here. If I can share something with you that uh, is like give you gas to help propel you to where you need to go, that's what I'm here for. Information, whatever, encouragement, that's what this is here for. Nanny Poo Love, thank you for being here. That's what I'm here for. And I mean that authentically, not for clicks and views, not for cash apps, not for super chats. That's what I'm here for, to plant the seeds along the way in good soil. Now, I know that some planteth and some watereth, but the Creator gives the increase. So it's all about me doing my part. And when that plant grows, and this is the most important thing, when that plant grows, I have become a success and I continue to be blessed because I did what I was supposed to do when it was my turn to do it. And I will never lose with the stuff I use. Yeah, I think I'd like to have y'all hashtag that in the chat. I will never lose with the stuff I use. Hashtag Crazy 5000. Good afternoon and thank you for being here. Know your worth. You also know how I feel about you. Welcome and it's good to see you. Patrice Cunningham, you know how we are. Thank you so much for being here. Love Blake, welcome. And yes, I will continue. Yes, I'm gonna preach, but this is laid back. I try to keep the preacher sort of kind of I try to keep him down because you know, you know, oh, I think about some things that my mother says. And let me say this to everyone. Cheryl Cook, welcome. Uh, Diane Gonzalez, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me say this. I've been down here for about a month, running back and forth with my mom, who had the situation with the allergic reaction to lisinopril. Um, Yesterday, my mother was discharged from rehabilitation, and she is doing quite well. Um, I have to laugh because when we were leaving yesterday, I was pushing the wheelchair to my car, and my car is not an SUV, even though I love driving SUVs. But I get the wheelchair to the car, put the brakes on it, and I'm getting ready to help her out of the wheelchair. And she looks at me and said, "No, I got this." And I'm looking in complete like, "You got this." Baby, my mother got up out of that wheelchair and got into my low sitting car without an issue. And I said that to say this: when you wish well for other people and you pray for other people when they are experiencing um, certain issues that they had no control over, when you just pray and consider someone else out of an authentic, real place, it works. And it is twofold. It is always twofold. Not only is it a blessing to the person that you are uh, extending those good wishes and those and goodwill towards and praying for and praying with, but it also is a blessing to you. It is a blessing to you. There's nothing in this world, in this universe, in that you can do that does not either bless you or curse you. If you're doing it to hurt somebody, it is a curse to you and it's going to come back on you. But when it is from an authentic place to really be a blessing to somebody, believe me, it comes back to you. And when it comes back to you, it comes back to you in an abundance. It comes back to you more than what you did. It comes back to you and sometimes when you least expect it, it will overtake you. And I mean this from experience. It comes and overtakes you, and all of a sudden you're overwhelmed with because with it comes a reminder that you did something to help somebody else. So all that in all that, what I'm saying is, all of you that prayed for my mom, I'm so appreciative because it does work and it has worked. That strong woman is up and about on her own again. And I appreciate all of you that really did that. Black and beautiful and educated, Margaret's daughter, thank you. Thank you so much. It is really a blessing. I must say, even with the negative things I have experienced on YouTube, for the most part, everyone on YouTube has been a blessing to me. And a lot of you, I may never say it, but I'll just say thank you or much love or something like that. That lets you know that you have touched my life in a positive, and I appreciate that. Again, those of you that prayed, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And those with the well wishes, I appreciate you. I am reporting victory today. Victory today. I'm reporting victory. My mother is doing very well. Uh, she's out of rehab, and she's walking and uh, doing what people do. So again, thank you. Again, to all the content creators that are in here, I appreciate you. My subscribers, my new subscribers, my day ones. Um, I appreciate you. And I think that all of you are really awesome, and you have been and are a blessing. Now, I want you to go from here, and I want you to be a blessing to someone else, because whenever you're a blessing to someone else, you bless yourself. And as I always say, let me shout out again, Oh No, and congratulations to Oh No for reaching your 1K. I have watched your videos, and as a matter of fact, I subscribed to you a while ago. Um, and I appreciate your content. Tracy Living My Truth. We all know that the relationship that Tracy Living My Truth has, or should I say, the mark that she's made in the lives of quite a few YouTubers. Um, Beauty by Joyce, Joyce Vlogs, Mr. Blaine. I have to um, shout out Timothy Blaine. Timothy Blaine is really a secret weapon. And I appreciate Timothy Blaine for his content. Um, I really appreciate you, Mr. Timothy Blaine. And again, you have been one of those that have inspired me. So thank you. Thank you. And I still have to shout out Mr. James Wilson because it was um, his encouragement that encouraged me to start my own platform, saying that I had something to say. So I appreciate that. Um, Food Junkie, I appreciate you. Nepturian, you know how I feel about you. I appreciate you very much. Um, King Jives, and I've said this even when I first started. Uh, King Jives is someone that has been very instrumental and very encouraging to me. Um, wow. Billie Jean, Dazzle, Leo the Lioness Queen, thank you. Thank you. Cynthia Jones, personally, I appreciate you because you're always saying something nice. And China Doll, I don't know if China Doll is in here, but China Doll, I appreciate you because it's something you always say to just about everybody, which is a blessing. And it's not just a saying. When China Doll says, God bless you, a lot of times I might be a little bit down because of the situation that was going on. And when China Doll would speak to me in anybody's chat and she said, God bless you at the end of it, it always perked me up. So I appreciate you, China Doll. I appreciate everyone. Again, like I say at the end of my life, much love to you. More love than your mind can conceive, more love than your heart can feel. and much more love than your hands can hold. I thank you and I appreciate you all, and I bless you with love. Much love to you. Everybody, have a good day. Have a good evening.